Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's the Friday news dump. What is going on, what went on, and what might go on, we're about to tell you. So let's go ahead and get into our headlines. Today on Before Coffee, Saudi Arabia is building a futuristic ski resort in the middle of the desert.
Drifting Republican politician will not seek re-election. We'll tell you which one.
European leaders at risk of blackmail, hacking, and compromise due to trade in data report.
Mississippi man hit by police and buried in a pauper's grave actually had ID on him, lawyer says.
Pussy Riot protests in Indiana state capitol in the U.S. with a giant vulva.
We'll story some more, which is National Butter Day and simultaneously also National Take a Hike Day, November 17th, 2023 on Before Coffee.
Okay.
Hike.
First news story. This is from Euronews Travel. The ski resort Trojena will be available for skiers for 3 months every year, while the rest of the time tourists will be able to do water sports and mountain biking. Nothing could be further from the image most people have of Saudi Arabia than a winter wonderland, and yet the country is building exactly that within the mountains of Neom. It's a $461 billion euro or $500 billion city of the future. What a waste of money. This new urban project is being constructed in the northwest region of the country, in the province of Tabuk. It will host an otherworldly ski resort named Trojena, featuring a blend of dizzying real and virtual architecture, a man-made lake, and a mesmerizing view. The idea of skiing down the slopes of Saudi Arabia's Neom sounds ludicrous, and yet Clark Williams, who manages marketing communication for Neom, tells Euronews Travel it's easier than you might think. People go like, wait a minute, there's snow in Saudi Arabia, Williams says. The truth is that we just need -3 degrees Celsius in order to create snow in Neom, and we can do that for 3 months of the year. Yes, welcome to Science Class, everyone. What temperature does ice start forming? 0 Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything below that and you can make snow. Wow. The world is a glorious place. And yes, deserts do get cold because there's no heat absorption, so all the heat leaves as soon as the sun goes down.
So the snow won't stay because the ground won't freeze.
Yeah.
In
the mountains close to Neom, the temperature naturally drops below 0 degrees in the winter. With sustainable tourism in mind, Trojena's builders claim they are focusing on minimizing water use and maximizing water recovery when making snow. In our snowmaking, we're going to utilize as many sustainable resources as possible, whether that's a solar or whether that's wind power, Williams explains. We'll also be using water from our desalination plant, which is cutting-edge solution, and we're trying to collect as much water from the snow melt as possible. This water would be recirculated back into the system, which creates the powder for the resort slopes, according to Williams. While winter offers the chance to ski down Trojena's 36 kilometers of slopes, people would be able to enjoy the man-made lake and practice all kinds of water sports there, as well as mountain biking during the rest of the year. In the summer, when the Gulf gets really hot, locals would be able to cool down in Trojena, where the average temperature is about 10 degrees lower than it is in other Saudi cities. And there's no humidity. Well, there will be when you put a man-made lake there. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how hot it is. When you put water in a place, humidity is gonna be there as well. It's gonna rain, okay? Trojena promises everything tourists would be able to find in a normal mountain village. The concept behind the ski village is to take what you'd see in a classic mountain village and put it in one building, Williams says. This includes restaurants and every luxury wellness spa for those who need a break from the piste. According to Williams, the ski resort is going to include several hotels that will immediately be available to host visitors when the center finally opens in late 2026 or early 2027. So keep your calendars ready to see if they actually finish this project and then how much it doesn't look like the pictures they're depicting on this article. That's quite soon if you consider we're creating an entirely new landscape there with streets, bars, restaurants, and hotels all compacted into one village. At the moment, the project is in its first stage of development, with workers already living there. Trojena wants to be playground for tourists. About 7,000 people will be permanent residents, according to the current plans, able to live and work in the vertical village. Trojena is only one of the 4 major parts of Neom. It is also expected to feature a luxury island of Sidala in the Red Sea, the first destination to open in 2024, Oxagon, a futuristic floating industrial metropolis, and The Line, 170 kilometers long city that would eventually house up to 9 million residents. Neom is one of the mega projects that was announced as part of the Saudi Crown Prince's vision for 2030. Niall Gibbons, Neom's head of tourism, tells Euronews Travel. It's about the size of Belgium and will welcome approximately 3.5 million tourists by 2030. Initially, Neom will focus on local tourism and later expand to international visitors, with 60% of people coming from outside Saudi Arabia by 2030, according to Gibbons. Neom plans to be the 100% powered by clean energy and reserve 95% of its territory for nature. Rewilding projects in the area are already started, Gibbons says, with wild oryx and ostriches reintroduced in the desert and giving birth to their first babies this year. I forgot the ostriches come from there. So there you go. You can go see some wild... maybe they'll open a wild wilderness resort too, and then you can go see ostriches and oryxes making babies or something. There you go. That's your exciting... look into the future of Saudi Arabia if you want to go there. I don't know if I want to give Saudi Arabia tourist money, so who knows, but who knows where I'll be in 2030. Maybe I'll be a billionaire in 2030, and I'll be also just spending money like crazy and not giving any ethical thinking to it. Let's hope not.
Well, in that case, you can maybe pay off your student loans if you're a billionaire. Possibly. Anyway. I guess it's my story?
Yep, your story.
All right, in political news, and everybody's favorite cross-dressing college volleyball star, George Santos, has decided not to seek re-election after the House details pervasive fraud and finds him basically guilty and unanimously guilty of...
Is he still trying to be president, though?
George Santos?
Yeah,
no,
he was...
never wanted to be president.
Oh, okay.
He was not running for president. He's a congressman from Long Island. The New York Republican Congress is from Guardian. He might run for president. He'll probably change his name first, but he's going to be in prison. Martin Pengelly. Yeah, that's true. Martin Pengelly in the Washington Guardian. The New York Republican Congressman, fabulous and criminal defendant George Santos said he would not seek re-election next year after the U.S. House Ethics Committee issued a report detailing grave and pervasive campaign finance violations and fraudulent activity and recommended action against him. I will not seek re-election for a second term in 2024, as my family deserves better to be under the gun from the press all the time. Oh, okay. You're an innocent victim. Santos said, calling the report biased and a disgusting, politicized smear. Oh, yeah, okay. But after the report detailed his conduct, moves for a new expulsion resolution began. Representative Santos sought to fraudulently exploit every aspect of his House candidacy for his own personal financial profit, the committee said. He blatantly stole from his campaign. He deceived donors into providing what they thought were contributions to a campaign, what were in fact payments for his personal benefit. He reported fictitious loans to his political committees to induce donors and party committees to make further contributions to his campaign, and then diverted more campaign money to himself as purported repayments of those fictional loans. He used his connections to high-value donors and other political campaigns to obtain additional funds for himself through fraudulent and otherwise questionable business dealings, and he sustained all of this through a constant series of lies to his constituents, donors, and staff about his background experience. So what's the problem here? What are you saying? They say he's a bad guy? Santos, 35, was elected last year as Republicans retook the House in part thanks to a strong performance in New York, which was gerrymandered to hell. But as his resume unraveled amid increasingly picturesque reports about his life before entering Congress, including questions about his actual name. He admitted embellishing his record. Allegations of criminal behavior emerged. Santos now pleaded not guilty to 23 federal criminal charges, including laundering funds and defrauding donors. He has survived attempts to expel him from the House, including from members of his own party. More recently, 31 Democrats voted against making him only the sixth member ever expelled, saying he would not be thrown out without being convicted. 3 congressmen were expelled in 1861 for supporting the Confederacy in the Civil War. 2 have been expelled after being criminally convicted, the last in 2002. Republican leaders, beholden to narrow majority, said they would wait for the ethics report. Well, here it is. On Thursday, the New York Democrat Dan Goldman said more than 10 months after Congressman Richie Torres and I filed a complaint, the committee has concluded that George Santos defrauded his donors, filed false election commission reports, and repeatedly broke the law in order to fraudulently win his election last November. And let's see how much is any new information. Susan Wild of Pennsylvania, the ranking Democrat on the committee, said she intended to vote yes in the privileged expulsion religion. And as the work of the committee is now complete, I'm no longer obligated to maintain neutrality. So it looks like he's going to get bounced, and which is probably going to cost old Speaker of the House Mike Johnson any votes. But well, there you go. Guy shouldn't be in Congress anyway. Your story.
All right, corrupt politicians are corrupt. Who would have thought?
In George Santos.
In future news, European leaders at risk of blackmail and hacking, so they might also be corrupt as well and get blackmailed. We will reveal how corrupt you are if you don't do this. This is from Aisling ni Shulian, or Shu Lane, on Euronews Next. The report from the Irish Council for Civil Liberties, ICCL, highlights how an advertising technology present in almost all websites and apps distributes sensitive data about EU leaders and personnel that could leave them vulnerable to bad actors. The issue relates to a widely used online advertising tool called real-time bidding, RTB, and is being called a European security crisis, which is present across almost all websites and apps. Real-time bidding refers to automated buying and selling of online ad impressions through instant auctions. The process typically takes place in the time it takes for a web page to load and determines which ads appear to the user. The problem, according to ICCL, is that this system involves the broadcasting of sensitive data about people using those websites and apps to large numbers of other entities without security measures to protect the data. The data in question often includes location data or timestamps, which can be used easily to link them to individuals. The ICL analyzed tens of thousands of pages of RTB data, revealing that it was being used to target EU military personnel and political decision makers. Foreign states and non-state actors can use RTB to spy on target individuals' financial problems, mental states, and compromising intimate secrets, the report said. Even if the target individuals use secure devices, data about them will still flow via the RTB from personal devices, their friends, family, and compromising personal contacts, it continued. The report pointed out that surveillance technology such as Patterns, a tool built by a private company called the ICA, Israel Security Academy and Technologies, uses RTB data in their product. On its website, the firm states that the program allows national security agencies to utilize real-time and historical user advertising-generated data to detect, monitor, and predict users' actions, security threats, and anomalies based on users' behavior, location, patterns, and modern usage characteristics. Isn't this just Minority Report? We've decided since that politician was looking at microwaves, they want to throw a nuclear bomb. Okay, thanks AI-generated pattern. In a summary of its key findings, the ICCL claimed that Google and other RTBM firms sent data about individuals in the US to Russia and China, and where local laws permit security agencies to access the data. In addition, they claimed that RTB data was traded within the EU in a free-for-all, meaning foreign and non-state actors could obtain them too. I can go buy data on my local government official and say, hey, why are you looking at buying homes during a housing crisis? That's pretty fucked up, man. I don't know. The report also highlighted that Microsoft's advertising analytics subsidiary, Xandr, lists 1,647 firms along its ad server partners that may receive RTB data from its auctions. And the largest player, Google, and it lists 1,102 ad technology providers that potentially receive data from its RTB auctions, which include Russia and Chinese entities. Google said in response that the list of vendors did not represent authorized buyers in the RTB program and that it was incorrect to assume they received data directly from Google. The RTB industry data free-for-all has created a serious national threat, Dr. Johnny Ryan, a senior fellow of the ICCL, said in a press statement. We call on the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, European Data Protection Authorities, and the European Commission to urgently act. The industry cannot be allowed to put our elected leaders and military personnel at risk, he added. In an emailed statement, a Google spokesperson pushed back against several of these assertions outlined in the report. To protect people's privacy, we have the strictest restrictions in the industry on the types of data we share in real-time bidding. This report makes some misleading and inaccurate claims about Google. Our real-time bidding policies simply don't allow bad actors to compromise people's privacy and security, the spokesperson said. Google also emphasized they did not share precise location or sensitive personal data relating to health, race, religion, political affiliation, precise location, location history, or browsing history with RTB buyers. They added that no personality identifiable information, or PII, is shared in a bid request and added that since early 2022, Google has paused ad serving in Russia, as well as suspended all authorized buyers partnered based in Russia. Microsoft has not yet responded to requests for comment on the story. And this story was updated to include comments from Google. So at this moment, Microsoft hasn't defended themselves for selling advertising data of our politicians. We know where they go shopping online. We know that they're buying cheap clothes from freaking sweatshops, and we're gonna use that against them. I don't know.
That's right.
The data, what the data they're sharing isn't really. I guess I have to read the report because then it'll detail what types of data is actually shared and how dangerous that is. But for now, Google's saying that they are totally making all that shit up, and none of that's happening. But of course, they would say that they make billions probably off selling people's data in auctions. Your story.
Okay, well, I wish I had better news, but here's some fucked up shit from Mississippi. That's kind of redundant, but this is from NBC News. Dexter Wade, buried without his family's knowledge, had ID on him with his home address, lawyer said. This is from John Shoup, NBC News. An independent pathologist examining the newly exhumed body of Dexter Wade, the Mississippi man killed by police and buried in a pauper's grave without his mother's knowledge, found a wallet with a state identification card that included the address of a home he shared with his mother, the family lawyer said Thursday. And nobody thought about going through his clothes. That would have been, fuck him. The pathologist, Frank Peretti, reported that he found the wallet in the front pocket of Wade's jeans, and that it contained his state identification card with his home address, along with his credit card and health insurance card. Attorney Ben Crump said in a statement. Crump, who arranged for the independent autopsy, said he was sharing Peretti's initial findings. NBC has not seen the full autopsy report, but that's basically a big detail, huh? A representative of Crump's confirmed that the home address was the same as his mother's. Betterston Wade, she had reported her 37-year-old son missing on March 14th, 9 days after he was struck by a police cruiser as he was crossing a highway. She got no information from the police about what happened to him until August 27th, when she learned that he'd been killed less than an hour after he left his house and buried in a pauper's grave owned by Hinds County. Hinds County Coroner's Office investigator reported did not find identification on Dexter Wade's body, but found his name on a bottle of prescription pills and used that information to confirm who he was within a few days. The investigator said he called the number listed as Betterston Wade, but did not hear back. Betterston Wade, she has no recollection or record of such a call. Yeah, so the lazy coroner is trying to say, oh, I made a call, but you have no credibility because you did nothing besides look at a bottle of pills and didn't even look through his pockets. So yeah, you didn't do your job. Coroner's investigator reported that he also shared Dexter Wade's information with police. Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba said last month that Wade was without identification and police were not able to identify him. The findings about the ID in a wallet suggested the authorities knew all along where he lived, but there's no indication that authorities went to the address before burying Wade. Betterston Wade called the news another jab in the stomach. If they had a wallet and they knew where his address was, why didn't they just visit his address when he was laying on the freeway and come get me so I could have seen my son? She said. I could have gotten a last glimpse of my son. I could have been there. Since all I had, since they had all the information. And what took them so long after they had all the information just to come to my door, just to knock on my door. Trump said in the statement, the tragic news we received from the independent pathologist today was heartbreaking for everyone. No one cared for Dexter Wade, especially his mother. The fact that Dexter had a state identification card and several other identifying items showing us that this was a concerted effort to keep the truth and a manner from his death from his family. There's no excuse, not even incompetence, for not notifying the next of kin of an identified man's death. A spokesman for the city of Jackson said in a statement that Hinds County was responsible for examining, burying, and exhuming Wade's body, which remained in county custody from the moment a coroner's office arrived at the scene of the collision. The spokesperson Melissa F. Payne said any questions about what was found on Wade should be directed to the county's official. The coroner's office did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. Thursday, Wade's body was exhumed Monday. Crump said in addition to the wallet, Brady found that Wade had not been embalmed before being buried. His body was in an advanced state of decomposition with multiple blunt force injury to his skull, ribs, and pelvis, and detached left leg. Wade was completely ran over by the police vehicle. So, I smell a cover-up. I don't know about you, but how did he die? We don't know because they covered the whole goddamn thing up and pretended it never happened. So, the cops in Mississippi are corrupt. What a shock. Your story.
Yes, that's like so much incompetence. Everyone should be fired. Everyone. Even the reporter reporting should be fired. This is like...
Even me reading it should be fired.
Yeah, we should be fired from reading that. That was so...
I live in a world that this is still happening, folks.
Yeah. Just, wow.
Oh, it's a black man. Run him over. Oh, we don't have to look for ID. Just bury him. Don't embalm him either. Let's let him decompose.
It's like running over a dog, you know? Oh, sorry, we killed your dog. We couldn't find its dog tag, so we just buried it in the freaking back lot. It's somewhere back there.
We can't be bothered with details of this human death that we caused.
Yeah, we killed somebody, by the way. We killed someone.
We did it.
And this is exactly why you should go and join Pussy Riot and protest at your local state capitol with a giant vulva. This is from... No, probably not have anything to do with corrupt police officers. This is from David Morquand on Your News Culture. Pussy Riot's Nadia Tolokonyakova led the protest art action God Save Abortion at Indiana's Supreme Court to fight for reproductive rights. Russia's feminist protest and performance art collective Pussy Riot have been spotted brandishing a giant 10-foot tall inflatable vulva outside the Indiana state capitol earlier this week in the U.S. Where do you get one of these? Is it a custom made or can you just buy one somewhere? Giant vulva inflatable. The group are continuing their fight against the state's Supreme Court and its anti-abortion policies with God Save Abortion, which is a new Pussy Riot song and part of a bigger reproductive rights campaign of art actions that Pussy Riot are launching. The first piece is a collaboration with students from Indiana University. Following the U.S. Supreme Court's controversial reversal of Roe v. Wade in June 2022, oh God, it's been over a year since that's happened, Indiana has implemented a comprehensive prohibition on abortions. In a statement shared by Pussy Riot leader Nadia Tolokonnikova said, "Pussy Riot has always meant to bring hope to the hopeless situations. Whenever I fail to see any hope, I turn to art. It helps me to make my message more loud and clear." She continued, "Art is like a magic wand. It's a very special instrument. Resist, organize, find like-minded people, and most importantly, vote. I know you hate the system that failed you, but it's in your power to change it, even if it seems otherwise." Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to... I don't know, why is this in French? Voir cette publication sur Instagram. Oh, I guess I have to go to Instagram and listen to their Pussy Riot song. Okay. Along with their latest protest, Pussy Riots have added the following demands. We demand the separation of church and state. We demand that our voices are heard. We demand access to legal and safe abortion for every person in the United States. Legal and safe was in caps. We demand limitations of government control over our bodies. We demand a Pussy Riot representative to be appointed as an official advisor to each state's Supreme Court as an expert on the separation of bodily autonomy. I agree. I think every single legislative body needs a woman there to go, wait a minute, why the fuck are we making a law about this? Excuse me. Not speaking out means that you're letting somebody else define your interests. The activist group shared a video to accompany their Capitol protests. The video's description includes a message by Tolokonnikova that reads, "We came to Indiana because we care about the most vulnerable groups of people, womb holders who exist in the red states. They are neither seen nor protected. Indiana was the first state to outlaw most abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned." The statement continued, "The state Supreme Court have become the hand and uncontested voice of God. We protest this by paying homage to Martin Luther and delivering our thesis. Starting with thesis number 1, God save abortion." Alright, I'm going to play some of the video that hopefully you can hear in the background. Let me set up my audio here. I think it should be playing. Oh. And
how big is this?
I don't know if that... I want to hear some of the song. But let's go to the middle of the video. This is a little clip of the song. And they're screaming a lot because they're angry because God save abortion, but they scream it like God save, yeah.
Okay.
So I agree with everything they said. Were you gonna say something?
What up? Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah. Looked like you were about to speak.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. You agree with everything they said as well. Good. We're all on the same page.
I didn't hear the song, so not from my point of view. I can't hear it at all. So. If it's playing, it's still playing? Oh, okay. Well, giant inflatable vulva just in time for the Macy's Thanksgiving parade.
Yeah, exactly. They should go as well and do their song there as well.
That's right. Have a float. Just have it just singing in Russian, right? Or is it in English?
No, it's in English. They're screaming, God save abortion, but like in a retching, kind of like a crone, you know, like a witch. So that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
All right, this day in history. And year 284, Diocletian was acclaimed Roman emperor by his soldiers. Okay, that sounds like a great election. In 1558, the death of Mary I on this day, Elizabeth Tudor came to the English throne as Elizabeth I. Of course, Mary I was Bloody Mary. 1800, the U.S. Congress held its first session in Washington, D.C. in year 1800. Nice round number. 1869, after 10 years of construction, the Suez Canal opened in Egypt. In 1871, the National Rifle Association was granted a charter by New York State. The NRA's initial goal was to promote and encourage rifle shooting on a scientific basis. It later became basically the gun owners' lobby give all the guns to all the crazy people, apparently. I don't know what the role is now. 1887, British Field Marshal Bernard Law Montgomery, one of the outstanding Allied commanders of World War II, was born in London. Old Monty. 1942, American filmmaker Martin Scorsese was born. 1950, German athlete Roland Matthias was born in East Germany. He's one of the greatest backstrokers in the history of swimming. So if you needed somebody to stroke your back, he's the guy. 1973, during the Watergate scandal, U.S. President Richard Nixon held a press conference in which he declared, "I am not a crook." I had to break up my Nixon impersonation once a week at least. 1989, massive government demonstrations in Czechoslovakia were set up by police brutality. A demonstration commemorating the 50th anniversary of the suppression of a student demonstration in German-occupied Prague. It was called the Prague Spring, no? So, under leadership of Václav Havel, they continued until the communist government resigned. 2008, the first film adaptation of Stephenie Meyer's popular Twilight Saga, a vampire-themed series of novels for teenagers, premiered in Los Angeles. And our featured event, Arnold Schwarzenegger on this day was inaugurated as governor of California. That's right, Arnold Schwarzenegger. An Austrian-born American bodybuilder and film actor was inaugurated on this day in 2003 as governor of California, following a recall election, which was a big joke because they recalled the governor for energy crisis that was caused by Enron. Remember Enron? Enron was causing rolling blackouts in California, and they got to blame the governor. It had nothing to do with it. Not a thing. But they recalled the governor and put Arnold in there, who was actually quite a terrible governor. Feature biography, Auguste Rodin, the French sculptor. Oh, the French sculpture. I know I'm sophisticated because I pronounced it right. He was born on November 12th, 1840, but he died on November 17th, 1917, at the age of 77 at Meudon, France. Hence on this day, okay, other birthdays in this day, we have Lorne Michaels, creator of Saturday Night Live, was born on this day in 1945. John Boehner, former Speaker of the House, born in 1949. RuPaul, American entertainer, born in 1960. And Rachel McAdams, Canadian actress, born in 1978. And what day is it? I'm sorry, 78. What day it is? It is National Baklava Day, which is a
Baklavas are good.
Yeah. National Take a Hike Day. So take a hike with that baklava because it's going to put some calories on you. You're going to put some carbohydrates in your system. It's actual National Homemade Bread Day, which is awesome. It's a National Happy Goose Day, G-O-S-E. I'm not sure what that is. We'll have to look that up. It's World Prematurity Day. So all the little babies had to come out too soon. They're barely struggling to survive. It's your day. I hope you make it. International Students Day is today. National Butter Day, which is every day in my household. And Substitute Educators Day. So if you got a substitute teacher today, say, yeah, I know. My regular teacher tied one on last night. Got it. What are we doing? Oh, you're going to read a book and you're going to tell us to shut up. Okay. National Substitute Educator Day. So let's figure out International Happy Ghost Day. Do you know what that means? Happy Ghost? It's international. I don't know. Goza is actually pronounced Goza. Is a fermented sour wheat beer that originated during the 16th century in Goslar, located in northern Germany. That's what it is. It looked like beer, but I just wanted to make sure. Back to you. International.
All right, this is Allison here from the Netherlands, and that's the end of our show for this week. Take us out, and then I'll start our mic drop.
Roger, United States. Saying goodbye for another Friday, November 17th, 2023, on For Coffee.
And this is your mic drop moment.
Physical violence on Capitol Hill, heavens to Murgatroyd. Representative Tim Burchett, has accused former Speaker Kevin McCarthy of sucker punching him in the halls of Congress after a heated confrontation in which Burchett was seen chasing McCarthy down the hall. Burchett was on CNN just now. Let's watch.
Well, I was doing an interview with Claudia from NPR, a lovely lady, and when she was asking me a question, and at that time I got elbowed in the back, and it kind of caught me off guard because it was a clean shot to the kidneys, and I turned back, and there was Kevin, and I for a minute I was kind of, what the heck just happened? And then I chased after him. Of course, he's as I've stated many times, he's a bully with $17 million in a security detail. You know, he's the type of guy that when you're a kid would throw a rock over the fence and run home and hide behind his mama's skirt. And he just, you know, he from behind, that kind of stuff. That's not the way we handle things in East Tennessee. If we have a problem with somebody, I'm going to look them in the eye.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.